the afternoon. I hope we all had a wonderful lunch. Lamira tong lunch. Lamira. Mamalita, ugma, kinapay laming nga lunch. Well, anyway, before we start with our training, I encourage everyone to stand up. Manindog ta. Yan. And I want you to form a line. Balag diha lang mo sa next sa inyong chair. Nakalinya na mo. Straight line yun. Tapos hands forward. Hands. Sir, ayaw i-preempt, sir. Kaya madawat ang beauty sa akong activity. So, I want you, nakatindog na, pwede? Sige, I want you to massage the person in front of you. Ha? Sige lang. Kamo, saan mo na? Hard, man. Okay. Okay, now, about face, talikod. Do the same favor. Okay. So I guess everybody is already re-invigorated with that activity. So ganahan magpamassage, no? Ganahan magmassage o libre. So I hope that you weren't, wala pa may information overload so far. Information overload na? Or sufficient? Kaya pa? Kaya pa? Mura naman walay kinabuhi na. Okay pa mo? Okay pa sa alright. With our training, I encourage everyone to stand up. Okay, so the first part of our activity this afternoon will be a discussion on the pilot mechanism. But anyway, before we start with Marfa, a round of applause, please.
Hello, good afternoon po. Gising na po ba lahat? I mean, busog na po ba lahat? Naantok na po ba? Ayun, bali, what I'm going to do right now is to explain yung magiging mechanics ng ride shop mamaya. Bali, di ba yung morning session, naka-dedicate siya dun sa tips on how to write effective science-related stories. Na-discuss sila Sir Toti, Ma'am Fram, Ma'am Shaira, tsaka ni Sir TJ. Bali yung kung maalala nyo kanina, during the registration period, sa registration, pinapili namin kayo kung anong topic, di ba? Enterprise technology or disaster preparedness. Yung iba nakapili, yung iba wala nang choice kasi pinilit na namin na doon na. Dapat kasi equal kasi yung magpa-participate doon sa dalawang area ng Bali yun, may purpose yun kaya namin pinapili kayo. Then after nun, kasi ang mangyayari ngayong hapon, parang we will let you to experience on how to become a journalist na nagko-cover ng mga science beat na na stories, na topic na yun nga, we have invited two resource speakers. Bali, ang magdi-discuss for the field LiDAR technology is si Engineer Jojin R. Santillana. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for coming po. And other project of DOST is yung setup na i-discuss ni Assistant Regional Director Sir Vicky Valera. Bali, meron silang allotted time na to present those projects. Ito yung mga projects na banner projects ng DOST, especially here in CARAGA region. Doon yung malalaman, parang ipapa-experience ka namin paano yung mag-gather ng information by mga journalists. Siyempre, di ba maganda rin na ma-assess nyo rin yung natutunan nyo kaninang umaga is pumasok ba rito. Di ba? Parang setup lang sa school. Lecture, tapos papa-exam. Yun. After the lectures of invited research speakers and the open forum, each participant is required to submit a news or feature article on the topic.
These are
our project areas. So ito yung 12 river systems na kinabar natin. So we have Kabantaran, we have Mainitubay, we have Surigao, no? We have Magallanes River, Cantilan River Basin, we have Tandag, we have Tago, we have Inatuan, Bislig, and Obochesa. So all in, pansin nga, dito lang na-side. Kasi nga, yung Agusan River System, especially Butuan City, ay na-cover na ng UP3 program. So, the objective of this project is para na mag-generate ng flood hazard maps for all those 12 river basins or river systems using LiDAR data and flood modeling. So, kung tayo ng flood modeling and LiDAR data to generate those flood hazard maps. So speaking about LiDAR data, hindi naman lahat covered ng LiDAR data kasi nga LiDAR technology is quite expensive, Parang narinig ko yata isang liquid is more than 100,000, no? Mahal talaga. Fortunately, na-cover natin yung mga flood-prone river system sa Mindanao. So ito yung map showing the LiDAR data coverage. So itong lahat ng itong portion ng Mindanao or ng CARAGA region na covered ng LiDAR data, nagawa nito ng mga flood hazard maps. So ito yung mga example LiDAR data products na derived from the project. So ito yung tinatawag natin kanina, digital terrain model. So showing the elevation, color-coded according to elevation. And from that, we can actually extract building footprints. Saan ba located yung mga structures, So nakukuha yan from LiDAR data. Ito, pinapakita, In this small portion, meron pa lang ganito kadaming buildings, So ganun kadetalyado yung LiDAR data. In such a way that we can extract building information, at very good detail. Of course, kailangan din natin mahanap yung mga roads, bridges, rivers, and lahat yun makukuha natin sa LiDAR data. So, together with flood modeling and LiDAR data, we're able to create flood visualizations. So dito, through the use of LiDAR data, we're able to generate these animations. This one is in Kabantaran River. So here we simulated using a model and using LiDAR data. Ano ba yung differences ng flooding during Typhoon Agaton and during Senyang? So through LiDAR data, we are able to have this output. We can compare, ano ba yung differences between these two flooding events. So another is we were also able to generate this kind of visualization, three-dimensional visualization. So dito, in-overlay natin yung simulated na flooding, including the buildings, and parang lumipat tayo sa aeroplano, nakikita natin yung itsura ng flooding situation. So through the use of LiDAR data, naging posible yung ganitong visualization. And of course, yung major outputs natin, which are the flood hazard maps. So for different rainfall scenarios, even typhoons, nakaka-generate tayo ng mga flood hazard maps showing the level of the hazards. In this example, this is for Tago River Basin. We're able to generate this kind of flood maps for different rainfall scenarios. So for the CSU Field LiDAR 1 project, we're able to generate 41. We're able to generate flood hazard maps for 41 cities or municipalities of Agusan del Norte, Surigao del Norte, Surigao del Sur, and Dinagat Islands. So mapapansin nyo, wala yatang flood hazard maps dito. Bakit kaya? Sasagutin natin yan mamaya. Pero hindi natin naisali dito yung Butuan City because Butuan City was already covered by the UP Dream program. So hindi namin pwedeng consider yun na output kasi hindi kami nagawa. So the good thing is that you're able to generate flood hazard maps for 41 cities or municipalities. Of course, makaka-generate tayo ng mga 3D flood hazard maps. Kung kanina, plot yung itsura, no? Here, pinapakita natin siya in 3D. So, nandiyan yung mga buildings, including the level of hazard. So, makita mo, kung ma-identify mo itong building, nasa low hazard pala siya, no? So, kung ito yung bahay mo, naku, nasa high hazard pala ako, ano? So, these maps are very useful for such kind of analysis. Meron tayong natawag na 3D building flood hazard exposure map. So, yung mga buildings, kinulayan natin according sa exposure nila sa hazard. Pag yung building nasa low flood hazard, kulay yellow siya. Pag nasa medium flood hazard, kulay orange siya. Pag nasa high flood hazard yung building, kulay pula siya. So ngayon, kung yung bahay mo kulay pula, ibig sabihin, nanganganib ka sa flooding. So, highly exposed ka sa flooding. Pero hindi ibig sabihin, pag exposed ka, vulnerable ka na. Kasi nga, vulnerability is dependent on several factors. For example, kung mataas naman pa rin yung bahay mo, hindi masyadong problema yung baha, right? And through LiDAR data, posible yan. So, we can classify the vulnerability of buildings according sa kung vulnerable ba sila sa flooding. So, pag yung height ng baha or yung level ng baha ay ganito na kataas, less than half a meter, may mga buildings na low lang naman pala yung vulnerability nila. So, hindi ibig sabihin na pag mataas yung exposure sa hazard, highly vulnerable na siya. Kasi nga, vulnerability is a function of several factors. And of course, another example is, mag-evaluate tayo ng mga flood control structures. So, dito sa kabila, no, pinapakita, pag wala yung mga dikes dyan sa Agusan River, sino familiar sa mga dikes sa Agusan River? May mga dikes dyan, ano? Pag wala yun, ganito yung mangyayari, ano? Portion sa Butuan City will be exposed to flooding. Ngayon, dahil may mga dikes dyan, protected yung city. So, bakit siya naging, bakit naging possible? No? Bakit naging possible yung ganitong simulation? It is because of combined use of LiDAR data and flood modeling. So, ganun ka-importante yung LiDAR data and the technology behind it. Ngayon, gusto nyo mag-access ng LiDAR data, kung gusto nyo mag-access ng LiDAR data, you can go to this website, you can search the area that you want, and you can request to download the data. So this website is hosted by the University of the Philippines. So kailangan nyo na mag-register and request and download. So 3 steps lang. Register, request, download. So, in conclusion, LiDAR technology when combined with flood modeling allows us to produce very detailed and highly informative flood maps, create an inventory of structures, pinpoint which structures can be affected by flooding, determine exposure and vulnerability of structures to flood hazards, and evaluate effectiveness of flood control structures. So, these are just some of the benefits that we can get from LiDAR technology. Ngayon, what's next after Field LiDAR 1? So, meron tayong tinatawag na GUC for Mindanao. This is actually a continuation of the Field LiDAR 1 project, but it will cover the remaining portion of the Agusan River Basin. So, mapapansin kasi natin, Butuan City only has the flood hazard maps, pero the remaining provinces, like Agusan, wala. So, gagawin natin ang flood hazard maps yun through the GUC for Mindanao project. So, again, this is implemented Mindanao-wide by the 5 universities. And for CARAGA region, it will be CARAGA State University. And this project was started last June 5, and will end May 2018. 2019. Thank you very much for your attention. So please like us on Facebook at /LiDAR1 and at GUC for CARAGA. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Eugene. In the interest of time, we will not proceed with set up first kay nagatod pa si PRD Varela Santong, Deputy Director sa STII. So we'll proceed now with the question and answer. Especially para sa mga katong na-assign sa disaster preparedness. So you can now raise your questions kay Sir Eugene. Remember guys, you will come up with an article this afternoon. So make sure that you will ask him. Labi na itong mga gray areas may inyo na-encounter karon. Questions?
Sir, I was wondering if was that technology developed in the Philippines mismo? Or was it from
It's a technology that was developed by foreign researchers. So we just adopted the technology, and fortunately it became very useful for us. Thank you for the question.
Other questions? So ready na mong magsulat sa inyong disaster preparedness article? Questions? On this side of the hall. Jun, may question? Wala pa. Or kung di question, clarification. And we have a question here.
Sir, the LiDAR technology can cover flood and current drain. How about itong mga landslides, since it's also affected by water?
Yes. LiDAR, as I mentioned earlier, is a remote sensing technology that is used to acquire information about elevation. Actually, information about anything related to topography, and that will include landslide. Yes. So it can be used to detect, no, not detect, to find the location of landslides, and together with landslide simulation models, we can use it to determine if an area is prone to landslides. Yes.
Sir, aside from determining accurate flood hazard maps, what are the let me say the other will be contribution of LiDAR when we will talk about other field goods, sir?
LiDAR, aside from flood hazard mapping, LiDAR is also used to inventory our natural resources, like where are the location of mango plantations, where are the location of rice fields, where are the location of aquatic resources, no? Because there is a LiDAR sensor that is capable of penetrating the water, so it can be used to map the location of corals, seagrasses, etc. So LiDAR technology can also be used for that purpose.
Good afternoon. I'm Mr. Gilbert Macala from St. University, Surigao. I have heard of Project NOAA, but I do not know how does it function. How does it differ and how is it similar to Green Project?
Thank you, sir, for the question. Project NOAA actually is an umbrella program, and under Project NOAA are different, tama ba in terms of programs or projects, and one of those sub-programs or projects is the UP Dream. So the UP Dream and the expansion program, the PhilLiDAR one, is in charge of generating the flood hazard maps na dinidisplay natin sa Project NOAA website. So UP Dream and PhilLiDAR one are contributors to Project NOAA.
Good afternoon, sir. I just would like to ask if LiDAR was actually instrumental in the construction of the viaduct along Baan areas, because we noticed that if before the construction of the viaduct, the incidence of flood sessions in Baan is now not as frequent as we are experiencing today, and then the water seems to be running very fast. so that there are times when flag signals actually are being raised at a very high risk. So I just would like to verify if and when or how efficient was your LiDAR technology in the construction of that viaduct?
Yes. Based on some information that I have read from the internet, the viaduct is part of the tinatawag nilang CARBDP ba yun? Tama ba, ma'am? Yes. I think that was before 2011, no? Before 2011. So before 2011, wala pong LiDAR data for this portion of Mindanao. So I think hindi pa po LiDAR data yung ginamit doon.
Just trying to verify because I'm trying to assess just how efficient was the construction of the viaduct, considering that it is a very expensive project and there seems to be no effect as to the prevention of floods in CARAGA. Thank you.
Yes, it's very hard to answer that question because we might be saying something negative. But, well, since we already have the LiDAR data, we can actually, just what I have shown earlier, you can actually use LiDAR data to assess the structures, the flood control structures. We can determine if indeed it is helpful or not. Because it may be possible that the design of the flood control structure may be baka hindi pa na-consider yung mga extreme, masyadong extreme na events, di ba? Recently, di ba, masyadong extreme yung mga flooding, di ba? Baka hindi yun na-consider. Yun lang yung masasabi ko. Pero, I know they have basis for that construction, for the construction of such structures.
Yes, another one. How often do we need to gather data for the LiDAR to be very effective, considering that we might have geographical changes?
As I have said earlier, LiDAR technology is quite expensive. So hindi siya masyadong 1 year after, pwede bang mag-acquire ulit. Kasi it's cost hundreds of thousands of pesos. So hindi siya ganun. Sa current situation, wala pang plans to update the LiDAR data. But if the LGU, if an LGU or a province want to have an updated LiDAR data, they can request. But the problem is the funding. So they should be the one shouldering the funding. Because we have the equipment, but we don't have the money to reacquire LiDAR data.
Any more questions? Clarifications? About from the students, nagsugod na magsulat? Or naguna-una pa? Follow-up question.
So considering it's quite an expensive technology, how valid will the data, how long will the data be valid?
Usually, kung mga small changes lang naman, we can do ground surveys to update some portions of, for example, may some portion na change, you can do ground surveys to update that portion. Yung change naman kasi hindi naman yan abrupt that all of it will change, Mayroong portions lang na mag-change dahil siguro dahil may flooding, may landslide, For that portion, we can use other technology like surveying to update the data. That way, hindi siya masyadong expensive. But the good thing is, we have the baseline data, we have the LiDAR data, which we can use later on to detect changes in our topography.
Okay. More questions, clarifications? Wala. If none, we'd like to say thank you, Sir Eugene, for a wonderful discussion on field LiDAR. I hope everyone was able to capture his discussion very well because it will be useful in your article preparation. Let me just remind everyone of the groupings. Di ganyan siya remind, kay mo pa ninyo ribalan sa inyong grouping. No? If you're not aware, but this is the grouping. First, for the disaster communication, which will be focusing on the presentation provided to us by Sir Juji. We have Carl Kenneth Navarro, Inya Shaira Franco, Mitzi Rica Palima, Christine Mayuga, Sarah May Monton, Curti Hay Love Maderal, Aisel Milian, Junayang Facundo, and Valentino Fernandez. For the enterprise technology, which will cover the discussion to be provided to us by ARD Varela, who is still in the airport. Ganun lang. They will be Angelo Urag, Gwyneth Tu Iamo, Christine Joyce Amito, Peter Joris Lensin, Riza May Militante Opider, Stella Maris Lorenzo, Jean Pauline Taxon, Ibrahim Nainkor, Dushmairil Jane Duque, Jessica Ven Inyo, and Jazel C. Ilumba. For those mawala pa yung grouping, I don't know what's going to be their groupings. Nakatong wala pa. Kasi wala na appeal. Wala na tawag. Siguro discretion na lang ninyo o sa inyong gusto isulat. Whatever makes you comfortable. So in the interest of time and while waiting for our next speaker, pwede ta mag-bladder break. So mag-bladder break lang sa ta. Okay? So anong CR na dito sa kilid? But for those who are part of the disaster preparedness group, you can start writing now your articles. Para di po masaya itong oras ng bulat, sir. Tapos kung gusto maging ninyo, naulaw mo pangutana ganina, pwede ninyo kuhiton. Pwede nyo tapikin si Sir Jujin. You can ask questions directly to him. Okay lang, Sir Jujin? Okay lang daw. Let me just remind you that the article that you're going to write should be between 400 to 800 words. It can be news or feature. It's up to you. And you can also take pictures with Sir Jujin if you want. Or... Ano ba? So, later, we'll have a discussion about setup, and we have invited someone, setup beneficiary natin sa Agusan del Norte. So she will be giving us a testimony about how setup helped her enterprise. Once again, if you are in social media, please use the hashtag ScienceJournalAko in all your social media postings. And please follow us in our social media accounts. For Facebook, that's DOST CARAGA. And for my province, that's DOST Agusan del Norte. And also, please follow the official Facebook page of STII for Science Journalism. That's Science Journal Ako. So, please like. And once again, reminding everyone that we have a Hugot board. If you want to post your Hugot lines, we have sticky notes here at the registration. You can write down your Hugot notes and post it here. Sa ganahan mga pila, atay kapi dito, mga pila. If there is an inquiry here, if you want to contextualize your write-ups to where you came from, pwede gihapon. Sa impact anang LiDAR sa Surigao, pwede ra. Okay, so our Assistant Regional Director for Technical Operations is already around. He's setting up his slides for his presentation. So, I encourage everyone to please take your bladder breaks now para makapaminaw yun mo sa iyang discussion. Then after the talk of ARD Varela, we'll have a simulation, or press conference simulation, and we have invited a set-up client from DOST CARAGA. So, kani siya kay Bagiitan po. You will know her later. So, babae na siya yun. Kay nanay her. So nakabalik na tanan. Murag wala pa dire. We'll wait for them. Okay, nag-brother break pa. So I'll just give you a heads up for what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll have a recap of previous session, which means a recap of the things that happened today. Then we'll have photojournalism. Then we will have also infographic design and a photo wall and layout design workshop. Then later, the afternoon of Ugma, we'll have the awarding of certificates for everyone. So call time tomorrow will be 8. Please be around at 8. We'll start our day tomorrow with the trainings at 9 a.m. So I guess everyone is already back on their seats. Ladies and gentlemen, the next person will be discussing about small enterprise technology upgrading program or setup is no less than the Assistant Regional Director for Technical Operations of DOST CARAGA, Sir Ricardo and Varela. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, Ednon. Other than being a journalist, you'll be interested in this presentation kasi negosyo, kwarta, pera. But before that, I'd like to bring you to the program of DOST. This is the banner program. All of our much of our time, resources are devoted on this program. So, the concern of the program is for the small, medium enterprises, and we included lately yung micro. But we will be discussing what do we mean by micro, what we mean by small and medium enterprises. But why do DOST focus on this area other than, kasi pag titingnan nyo parang economics eh. Why are you doing this? Because we know very well that SMEs contributes 32% of our GDP, employs 70%, and comprises 60% of exporters, and contributes to a more equitable distribution of income. And lastly, it provides domestic supply base for globally competitive products. The future of our economy lies on the micro, small, and medium enterprises because of these economic contributions that they have. Kaya, DOST, tumataya ang DOST on that specific program. When we talk about micro, we are talking about 3 million pesos capitalization. For small, 15 million, medium, 100 million, and above that, large. So, many of our clients, many of our partners are on micro and small enterprises. Medium, kukunti lang. So, ganito yung distribution by category. So, around 0.4% sa medium, but 91 or around 92% nasa micro. Pag isama natin yung small sa micro, that's 99.7%. Okay? Pero please look at the distribution. 24% nasa NCR. 40% ng employment nasa NCR pa rin. Pag pinag-ipon natin itong NCR 3, 4, 7, and 11, yung highly urbanized, yung establishment, 65%. So, 72% ang employment coming only from these 5 regions. So, makikita natin yung disparity. In fact, 2/3 ng small and medium enterprises nasa NCR 3, 4, 7, and 11. So, how about the micro, small enterprises na yung maliliit, lalo na yung nasa Dinaga, Siargao, o sa Surigao del Sur. So they need more attentions, more programs to be able for them to compete. And we did a survey. Ano yung mga challenges ng mga SMEs? So we categorize in terms of financing, production. So sa financing, of course, usually capital, production, low productivity, walang knowledge and control system, limited yung technical know-how. Sa marketing naman, the usual problemang market, weak ang product design, packaging, pricing, and servicing, and there are also difficulties in technology. Ano yung pwedeng technology na may adapt to be able for them to do business? And lastly, yung distribution, high cost of inter-island shipping. So, for sure, DOST cannot answer all these challenges, all these problems. So we focus more on technology, being DOST, and also the mandate of DOST, and some of the areas like the packaging and labeling for marketing, and other aspects, including some sort of what we call, quote-unquote, financing. So, DOST created a program dubbed a Small and Medium Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program to address the need of the SMEs as well as to answer the disparity when it comes to distribution and the establishment of small and medium enterprises. Ito yung pinaka-strategy. Encourage and assist MSMEs to adopt technological innovation to improve operation and boost their productivity and competitiveness. So ito lang, pinaka-simple. And yung objective in Fusion Technologies, we provide funds to acquire new technologies, training, provide trainings, technical consultancies, and even consultancy. We pay consultants to help enterprises improve their production. We hire consultants to look into their packaging system and to look into the shelf life of their product if they are in the food business. And also to help this establishment through product standardization, including laboratory testing, and also provide relevant, accurate, and useful information to these MSCs, especially on marketing. So, napakadaming businesses. So, ito lang yung covered industries na we give emphasis. First and foremost, because these industries are already categorized as kumbaga sa ano, may competitive advantage tayo. Sa horticulture, sa food processing, furniture, kasali na doon ang ICT, metals and engineering, meaning those businesses engaged in this area of business, they can avail the program. So, saan ka pag-avail sa program? Primero nga requirement, kinahanglan, of course, Pinoy. You are Filipino citizen to be able to receive the program. Then, pag kailangan mo is technology improvement. Meaning, we do not provide capital to buy trucks or to buy whatever fixed assets, land or building. But we provide technology for acquisition of technology. We provide funds for acquisition of technology and other forms of productivity improvement. Simply, we make it simple for SMEs to enroll to the project and to get the technology assistance. Primero, sulat ka lang, letter of interest. You are in business, for example, health and wellness. Just write the director that you are interested to avail the services of setup. Then we require, as usual, the different requirements, permits, just to show that you are a legitimate business. Saka, cooperative, we require a board resolution authorizing to borrow or to avail such assistance. Then, we would like to look into, because we do not provide funds or we do not provide assistance when it comes to setup, yung mga nag-start pa lang, napaka-risky talaga pag starting ka pa. At the same time, hindi naman, we do not see it as your requirement is productivity, improvement, kundi first year ka pa lang, it's more on capitalization. So, we make sure na dapat may track record ka na for the past 3 years. So, we would like to see your financial statement. Kumikita ka ba? Or are you doing good? Pag hindi man, which area that you need some improvement or some attention? And we help you write the feasibility study at zero cost. Our staff will assist you prepare the feasibility study of your project. So ito yung mga aspeto na kinakailangan. We have a template for that. Then, if ever you need some equipment, we provide you technical assistance, what kind of equipment, specification. Saka, kailangan namin yung quotations, kung if ever, kailangan mo ng halimbawa, kailangan mo ng isang hammer mill for feed production. So, kailangan namin makita yung quotations ng suppliers, sino yung offering good price at saka quality na equipment. Then, pag bagong design, an output from an inventor or a newly developed technology, we would like also to see yung design ng equipment or kailangan ng fabrication. Just to make sure na at the end of 3 years, hindi ka malulugi. So, re-reviewin namin. We have an external review technical evaluation committee. Then after that, nakita natin yung visibility na okay yung business and it will improve a lot by assistance ng setup, i-endorse ng regional director for possible funding. So that's all. Thank you and good afternoon.
Wow. Thank you, sir. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Iba pas-pas. So, if you have questions about setup, just hold it for a little while. Because we have invited someone who has experienced what setup is really all about. Ako nakaibot ang dirego, no? So, I'll give you a brief introduction sa iya ha, kay siya na lang mag-introduce sa iyang self, kay grabe naman siya ko. So, our Guest is the owner of Jutsa Juice Bar. Na siya dire sa Ibadihas. So she is part of the 2016 setup of the OST CARAGA. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Zel Cervantes. A round of applause, please. She'll be sharing, then pwede mo mag-ask of questions right away.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Zel Cervantes. I started Pucha Juice Bar December 3, 2014. So I'm on my third year this coming December. So what is Pucha all about? Actually, daghan kayo a bit of a wrong pronunciation for my restaurant. It's actually Pucha, but most will call it Jucha. It's Jucha. Pucha means juices and kombucha. Intentionally, I was supposed to just serve juices and kombucha, but then ang ato ang crowd in, I think, in general Philippines would rather want something na heavy food, not just drinks. So I thought initially that having a juice bar would click, but then after a week's operation, people started asking for food. So yeah, that's how Pucha came about, to serve salads and wraps and sandwiches. So Pucha is, if you see the small caption, it's a cocktail of live food. So what is cocktail of live food? It's not something alcoholic. It's actually a concoction of live food. Live food means we have live organisms and good bacteria and all these stuff. I am not a nutritionist. I'm not from a medical background, but I'm an engineering graduate as well. Pero since I was diagnosed with cancer, I tried to use the internet to be my information superhighway. So that's how I have come to know good food doesn't have to be compromising our health. So that's how I think that's one of the things that Pucha has been very unique with. So we come, the approach was to give people to look forward to the good food and the health benefits that it can give each and every one of us. So that's what Pucha is all about. So it's more of an advocacy and at the same time, syempre, sustainability. But as a client, a setup client, it was a very quick application for me. So as a setup client, a very simple process to do the application for setup, and enumerate sir. But it has given me a very big opportunity to explore more of what I can offer Butuan, and maybe later on, who knows, the entire Philippines. So, as a micro player, I am looking forward na dili lang siya kinang inato lang, because there is advocacy in my business. So, I'm hoping that it's not just going to be here in Butuan. I'm hoping that it can go around the entire Philippines. So, I think setup has given me that kind of outlook. Okay. Initially, I was just saying that I'll just be a small player because I'm more of the advocacy person. So I see to it that I'll be able to share to people the things that I have learned during my research, during my change of lifestyle. But then, when I was introduced to setup, I was somehow given this a bigger plan to look into, because we can tap a lot of areas for improvements and employment. So setup is just one way of giving micro players that opportunity. So naanay daghang improvements sa ako ang part, like for example efficiency, because Initially, I was starting with home equipment lang, kumbaga. Juices are very critical in my health. So, but equipment is also very critical with the nutrient factor that we are giving to people when we serve our juices. Kumbaga, if I'm using a home equipment, dili kayo siya pwede kadu sa production or the requirements sa akong restaurant. So that's where setup was able to help me. And then, kung gamay lang ang prefer sa juices, juices are actually good detox for our body. So in a day, if you're going to consume at least 3 16-ounce juice, grabe na ang cleansing ang kita po sa imong body. But, mo daw akong giingon ka ganina, equipment is also very critical. So we see this juicer kinagsama kita kaayo. Actually, minimal kaayo ang iyahang nutritional content ana. But if you're going to use the slow juicer, the masticating ones, dako bi kayong diferensya. I don't have the data with me right now, but doctors who are into naturopath, they have made a study comparing the two juices extracted from those centrifugal ones, itong saba, and then those from masticating ones. So naagida epekto. So this particular opportunity for me given by setup na nakapangita ako kay a bit expensive man ang equipment nga ako ang na-procure. So that's one way of nag-set up nakatabang sa ako. So maybe later on I saw that pwede di ay mag-fabricate o kanang equipment. So ni-trigger na po na akong utok ng akong mga brain cells. So maybe we can later on, after experiencing setup for my part, maybe later on we can also discuss on that. Kaya I know that DOST is kanang ilahapod ng advocacy na ma-enhance yun gani ang awareness sa tao, matabangan yun through science. Science is not just plainly na high-tech na tangan ginaingon. No, science is a very broad area po para sa ato. So I think for me, I'm combining the worlds na sa technology in terms of equipment and maybe later on pohon kinang sa medical nga terms basin pohon. So I'm looking forward to that sa help pa sa DOST. Sir was also discussing about the consultancy. I was so happy na involved ko sa consultancy because the production processes, since I'm in an engineering background, I also didn't have any background on how to run a business. So dako kaayong natabang. So even those simple rules na we think as a business person na anatay capital, na anatay product to move, pero ang ato ang production mo fail. That's why small or micro players also tend to die down because we don't have this, we lack this knowledge of running a business. And yes, we can generate employment if we were equipped with this kind of knowledge without. So that's how I benefited from setup. So hindi lang siya sa financial aspect. It was also, I think, more of the know-hows on how to run a business and how to run your product and manage your resources and manpower.
Okay, thank you, Zen. I would like to ask you to have a seat at the center. And Sir Reed, we'll invite you in. So, if you have questions about setup, you can throw down your questions towards our resource speakers. Gusto mo mga yung discount kang Ma'am Zel, pwede yun siguro. Questions? Ay, si Ma'am.
Ma'am, I'd like to know, how did you learn about setup?
I have a friend who introduced me to Sir Ednon. That's how I came about to know setup. So I think my husband has actually visited DOST prior to meeting Ednon, and the initial conversation was, I think, because of the requirement for the 3-year financial statement. So, naguna-una ang husband before that we can't avail of that one yet because wala kami like 3 years at that time. Yeah. Or I guess somehow DOST is already pushing up this program because a lot of people are starting to know about it.
So ako na lang ito back on my end. So I am the one who packaged the proposal for Mamzel. Basically, the rationale behind pushing for her project is because she has been helping local farmers who are raising organic products. And we saw it as an opportunity for them to be able to increase their productivity so that they will be value-adding din sa mga products nila. Kasi I think Ucha Juice Bar is the only establishment in Agusan Norte who's offering organic products. Like organic yun. Dili siya GMO. Or wala yung katilaw o fertilizer ang yung mga kuwan.
Usahay na pay wood.
Usahay na pay worms. Mga wood. Questions?
So I have a question regarding the price quotation. So for the price quotations, you have to send the technical design of the equipment to be fabricated or acquired. So if you could provide DOST with your own design, is it okay, or does it have to be patented first before ready for production, or before you can actually acquire the equipment needed for your enterprise?
Thank you for that question. Actually, there are two modes to acquire equipment. Pwede yung makalit na nimo, you buy it directly if ever for saka. Halimbawa, gumagawa ka ng feeds. So hammer mill, you don't have to fabricate or invent. So what we did, we just recommend your capacity, ano yung dapat na design, na para suited doon sa business mo. In the event na hindi available or highly, you need a customized equipment that can only cater your need, then kailangan na ng fabrication. So, doon na titingnan namin if yung fabricator ba may klarong plano, ito yung capacity na lalabas, or we provide more on the technical inputs. Kung paano, not necessarily na patented. One of our clients also from setup is a fabricator. So this is also another opportunity for him to do business. So nagpapabricate siya ng oven. So, yun. Tinitingnan lang na. Pag magka-agree naman yung adapter or yung client ng setup, saka yung fabricator na willing na siya na i-adapt niya yung fabricated equipment ng fabricator. So, walang persahan. Depende sa ano yung need ng business, saka ano yung requirement mismo ng business to be able to improve. Ang keyword dito is to improve productivity of the enterprise.
Clear? Questions? Clarifications? Wala na. So, thank you for the time.
Alam ko'y request, not a question. Can you help us promote more setup yung program? Paki-promote na lang po. Whenever you are, if you're in business, have time to visit the office or see our staff. This is what may negosyante kasi nagtatanong, ano pag hindi ako mag-aabil ng setup? Sabi ko, ikaw yung pinakabubong negosyante sa Butuan. Kasi walang interest. Yung grace period is you don't have to immediately refund. Kasi you have to refund the amount. for the period of 3 years. For example, yung gold and pearl. Lahat ng equipment ng gold and pearl, sa setup yun. So, they were able to upgrade yung facility nila at a cost na napakababa kasi instead na i-loan nila sa setup na, then they have to return that after 1 year of operation. Saan ka makakikita ng gano'n? So, pag negosyante kang hindi ka pag-avail ng setup, ikaw yung pinag-abubuan. Most likely, until this time, hindi ka pa sikat. So, you want to be with a sikat na negosyante, highly upgraded business, join sa setup.
Grabe, Sir Lang. Thank you very much. I'd like to request Sir Rick and Sir Jojin and Ma'am Zel, sir, to give the token. We have tokens for Sir Jojin and Ma'am Zel. Ayan. Sir, wala lang kay Ingo, kay ikaw may host. So, we'd like to give a token of appreciation to Miss Izel Cervantes, owner of Jucha Juice Bar. But we'd like to call it Jucha. Thank you, ma'am. A round of applause, please. And we'd also like to give a token of appreciation to Engineer Jujin Santillán for his discussion on Viliger. A round of applause, please. Now, for those who are assigned to the technology, enterprise technology write-ups, you could approach Sir Rick to ask questions kung naulo lang mo, to clarify things. Naara siya dito sa registration. So, I guess we'll now proceed with our write-up. Start na taog sulat. Okay ra? Sige, magsulat na mo. And to those who want to experience Jucha Juice Bar, naa siya sa Imadihas. Nara just a few blocks away from Almont Inland. I guarantee you, they have the best salads in Butuan. And the best juices there is in Butuan. Walay bias na kay nasin yun. Tinawag. Once again, I'm going to remind you that the article should be between 400 to 800 words. Then, if you're on social media, I would like to remind you to please use the hashtag ScienceJournalAko for all your social media postings. And please follow our Facebook page for DOST CARAGA, that's DOST CARAGA. For my province, that's DOST Agusan del Norte. For the other provinces, I think it's the same thing. DOST Surigao del Norte, DOST Agusan del Sur, DOST Surigao del Sur. And also for STII, please like Science Journal Ako. And for Jucha Juice Bar, that's Jucha Juice Bar.
Pero di ba nakakagaya?
Let me just remind everyone that critiquing of your output will fall on 4:30 this afternoon. If you want to ask questions ng Ma'am Zel, pwede na siya ma-entertain sa inyong questions.
Spoiler ni isip ko, before kami, ano nito, isip kami pinali siya kanila. Ako na si mo. Airport man to niya nagkakagalan siya. Huwag siya siya.
Thank you for the time. Thank you for explaining on a short notice. Wala kay choice. Joke lang. Thank you so much.
Diyan makatawag ka ng maraming Kaiwasig.
We are now down to the last 30 minutes of our ride shop. If you are done with your reader, abolish na lang. Katong nagsulat sa papel, pwede na ninyo i-encode. Kung wala ko yung laptop, isulat siya sa bond paper nga hinlo. Kung wala mo yung laptop, pwede mo makaborrow sa laptop sa atong staff sa STII. Just approach them. You can encode your work from their laptop. I think they have 4 available laptops that you can borrow.
Pabili ko 50 ma'am. Bakit? Nandito yung oo, pagkasama. Hindi pag ginagawa. May dalaw sila. Nila lang yung pang-folder eh. kung makikita.
Payadon na din yan, no?
We are down to our last 15 minutes. So once again, I'll just remind everyone that you can borrow the laptops from our STI friends. If you want to encode your output, you can borrow one of their laptops. We are down to our last 10 minutes.
charger mo. Charger. Ito pa ulam.
last 3 minutes. For those who are finished with their articles, please submit it sa tong STII staff. There is a sender. After we're done with our ride shop, we'll be selecting randomly your outputs that will be critiqued by Miss Shaira and Sir PJ. Last 30 seconds. If you're able to submit your soft copy dito na sa tunga, pwede mo mag-CR break para ma-relieve mo sa iyong mga stress. Sasabog ng bomba. I-submit kang Sir Mau. Nasa sasat naman. So please wrap up your outputs and submit it to Sir Mau, because we will now proceed with our critiquing. Okay, so we do not have a lot of time left, so please submit your work and Turbo. In 5 minutes, we'll start. I mean, in 2 minutes, we'll start with our critiquing. Come on. Last 1 minute, please submit. Kaya di na yun natin ma-stretch ang oras as much as we want to stretch more time, but we can't. Ibangan lang to ninyo yung mga output. So, ito na pala naman, may balay naman. In the interest of time, when Sir was still picking for samples to be critic, let me just give you a heads up of what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have a photo journalism with focus on social media. We'll also have infographic design and photo walk and layout and design workshop and critiquing of the outputs of photo journalism. Then call time for tomorrow is 8 a.m. because we'll start with our training at 9 a.m. Please be on time because we want to change the definition of Filipino time. It's not late, it's on time. Okay, mayang hapon sa tanan. Okay pa? Sige, hapit naman tawag ulit. So we'll now proceed with our critiquing. Sir Mo is going to pull up some of your works to be critiqued by Ms. Shaira and Sir DJ. I think we're ready with our first output. This is about setup. Pwede ipataas, sir? Can we see the right one and who wrote it? Walang author, ah. The title is How a Cancer Patient Made an Impact in the Fruit Drink Industry. The Story of Juice Bar. Whose work is this? Okay. So, Sir Ma'am? Sige.
Okay, hello. Napasandahan ko siya, no? Teka, isip ko kung paano ko siya. Yeah. Basically, no? So let's look at this piece on several levels. In terms of layout, in terms of writing style, in terms of narrative structure, narrative flow. So in terms of layout, very text-heavy siya, no? Kasi may kita natin, bloke-bloke ng text. Yung first paragraph is two long sentences, three sentences. So it's a medium-sized paragraph. Tapos yung second paragraph mo, it's a very, very big block of text. So, especially if you're writing for a blog or a popular blog or a news website, visually, nakakapagod siyang basahin. Kasi ang tendency, again, it helps to think about what it looks like to your reader. Nagsascroll sila through their feed, tapos makita nila to, even in the audience right now, if you look at this piece right now, don't look at the words, just look at don't read it, but look at what it looks like, the text on the screen right now. Ang bigat niyang basahin. In the sense na, even if the words are simple, at maganda, that's a plus point, no? So, simple lang yung language. Pero in terms of layout, dahil block of text siya, you tend to think there's so much information na nakakatamad siyang basahin. So that is the simple solution there is to break it up into shorter paragraphs. Okay, so there's that. Number two, in terms of writing style naman, maganda yung, and let's start with the headline, no? How a cancer patient, asan yung laser? Magkano yung laser? Sorry. Okay, there you go. Ayun, sorry. So, yung how a cancer patient made an impact in the fruit drink industry, like I said in my talk earlier, maganda. It's a good try, no? Because you're trying to hook a popular audience. But you have to ask, how many people would be interested in this headline? Remember, I said think about how your audience reads, left to right, top down. Pag umpisa mo, cancer patient, how many people would be interested in cancer? This headline would appeal to people who have friends or family na cancer patients. So that's good. And if this is going to appear in a magazine for people in that community, di ba? Yung mga people who health and wellness kunwari, yung mga may kakilala mo kamag-anak na may cancer, this is an okay headline. But for a general audience, maybe not, di ba? So again, for instance, if I don't have, although I do have family who suffered from cancer, no? But if I didn't, this might not appeal to me. So there's that. Maybe what you can do, if you look at through the text, baka there might be another hook that you can use for the headline. Ano bang example doon? I can't. There are several things you could. It says later on that Mrs. Cervantes business boomed or something. So maybe you could use that as an angle. It was a booming business. How to earn money kunwari, while fighting cancer, something like that. I mean, yeah. But the bottom line is you have to know your audience, understand your audience, and you craft your headline and your opening to cater to that audience. What would they most be interested in? So wait, I talked about writing style, layout. What was the third one that I mentioned? Narrative. Okay, sorry. I forgot that. Narrative form, itong Jusha combination of words. So, this is more of a it's not a pyramid style that's typical of a news article. It's sort of essay. It's actually hourglass, no? Pero itong opening paragraph mo, yung Jusha combination of the word Jews and the Russian, Chinese, and Japanese kombucha. Again, you have to ask: is this something that your audience will immediately be interested in? Diba? And obviously, most of the audience, kaya nga you wrote this article because you're taking for granted that your audience does not know what Jusha is. So, just by using a hook that it is a word made of Russian, Chinese, and Japanese, is that enough to hook your audience? Maybe, depending as where this will be published. But in my mind, at least, for a general audience, it might not be the best way to start to open up this story. There is potential dun sa kwento ni Mrs. Cervantes. What I would recommend here is to bring that up front. Yung make it more about her at the start. That this is the story of an ordinary person who went through this and this and this, and then stumbled onto this business, and decided to use the name Jusha. Yeah. So to summarize, you look at the thing that I always try to say when you write is imagine your target audience. What would they be interested in? How do they think? So you craft your messages accordingly. Make it light to the eyes, the layout light to the eyes. Tapos your headline and your opening, they should be crafted based on what your target audience would most likely be interested in.
Hello. Ako kasi ang unang naisip, my teacher in college used to tell me that the first paragraph of any journalistic piece should be like a miniskirt. Long enough to cover the essentials and short enough to keep people wanting. So, parang in this case, it's not necessarily a miniskirt, but a maxi skirt. Kasi then sa length niya. And did it cover the essentials? Not really. Medyo sheer nga. Kasi when you think about the audience, you think about in the headline. After the headline, would they keep wanting to read your article? After the first sentence, babasahin pa pala nila ulit yun. Then the next sentence, the next sentence, the next sentence. When I try to process writing a story, I try to do it like, I write the first sentence, and then I ask, so what? Then I follow it up with another sentence. So that the first sentence is directly related to the second sentence, and so on and so forth. Even the second paragraph should answer the question, so what? From the first paragraph. So, dito, I think the instruction was to write either about LiDAR or setup, right? So, in this case, the setup program was buried way below the third paragraph after two big blocks of texts. If you want to highlight the role of setup in Mrs. Cervantes' business, you could have put it either at least on the second paragraph nang hindi ganun kahaba yung first paragraph. So, but how? I think one way to go about this is also kasi TJ is coming from a general audience. I'm coming from, what if you're writing this on a blog that's intended for people from Butuan or from CARAGA? So I would probably start with, there's a quaint juice shop in Imadeha's subdivision. Tapos, or probably start with the taste of the drinks that they're selling. Like, this apple juice isn't like any other that I've tasted. It's sweet, charla. Yun. So, pwedeng ganon. Kasi diba, sinabi ko kanina, write with your senses. So, what does it taste like? So, you're talking about the juice shop, but not necessarily talking about the juice. The juice could be the most interesting part of it kasi everyone loves food. Unless you're anorexic. So, or bulimic. So, diba? So, when you talk about food, automatic, oh, they're talking about the juice that is delicious. Tapos, added information that is actually kind of healthy. And then another added information, it is supported by DOST. So, those are good things to write about. So, it's not easy to come up with that kind of angle, diba? Especially if you're starting out as a writer. I could tell from experience that TJ used to edit my work like 5 times and revise this. He used to print out paper, even if he didn't have to do that, but he would print paper and then in red ink would edit my work. You should put this fourth paragraph in the first paragraph and so on and so forth, something like that. So, don't worry if you think that, parang nag-fail ako dun sa first try. The thing is, what I like about this is that if I'm reading just a life story of someone, it would be a good life story. Kasi di ba, parang the chronology of Miss Cervantes' business is good. And the language is also, I think, appropriate for a general audience. Except for some terms like, I don't like to use the word procure. It feels like I'm doing a government job. I'm sorry. Medyo, meron pong konting anxiety sa procurement, not the trigger. So something like that, di ba? Parang two things that audience would really look for in an article like this is probably, parang automatic is about food, second is about health. Kasi in social media, for example, if you look at things that people share on social media, it's usually tips on how to lose weight or how to gain weight, how to be healthy, how to detoxify, something like that. So that you could look at something, you could get a hook from that. Tapos, in terms of so how do you break up these kinds of blocks? Normally, in a journalistic piece like feature or news, 1 or 2 sentences per paragraph is okay. The idea is to put one single concept or one single idea in a paragraph and then move on to the next paragraph. So kung halimbawa ito, if this is one paragraph, the word jucha is at one paragraph already. It's a sentence but it's a paragraph. Kasi after that, the juice bar is not necessarily about jucha. Something, ganon. Tapos, I like the combination of long and short sentences, especially in this paragraph. You should look out for that. Kasi hindi pwedeng long sentences lang, hindi pwedeng short sentences lang. If it's always long sentence, hindi makakahinga yung readers. If it's too short naman, it will be boring. So it would sound like da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. Ganun lang siya. So, pagka may long na tapos walang period, walang comma, walang semicolon, tapos parang gano'n, di ba? In a song, you would actually look for the stanza, the refrain, and the chorus. So, it's as if you're writing a song in here. So, there's a combination of short and long sentences. And avoid passive passive sentences, dapat yung sa sentence nyo, laging yung subject yung doer ng action. So, avoid yung may mga by, tapos, when you're starting a sentence with however, or any other transitional words, you could already start a new paragraph. Kasi that's already a breaker. So, those are the things that could easily break your sentences or your paragraphs. Regarding naman dun sa headline, yeah, I agree with DJ. Question, yung how something did this or why something happens are already good forms of headlines. Kasi when you ask a question, you have a direct call to action to your readers. Like, you're picking their minds on what they think of the process. So, but the thing is, ano yung ilalagay mo dun sa sentence na yon between how and then what happens? So, how a cancer patient made an impact in the fruit industry. Yung impact is too general. It's not tangible. It's, when you say made an impact, so you mean to say, yumaman ba siya? Did she get rich? Or did she help a lot of people? Or, di ba, parang, what do you mean by made an impact? Anything that starts with make, like, I will make an impact, make a comeback. Yung make kasi is sort of a linking verb. So you have to avoid that. You go straight to the point. So probably, if you would still use the cancer patient, how a cancer patient drove her fruit drink business to greatness or whatever, but I don't like the term greatness too. So something like that. I usually choose words, verbs that are moving, and thesaurus are actually helpful in this case. Like this word, I like this word. Yeah. So switch her diet or her healthier one. Not change, diba, pero switch. So that's good to read and good to the ears. So something like that. Sa structure, wala na akong idadagdag sa sinabi ni teacher, pero at least dun sa mga nitty-gritty parts. So yun. Tapos, pwede pa next page po. Yeah. This comes to show that a small business like Jucha Juice Bar, a humble store with a humble beginning, humble. So that's, redundant. Despite being overshadowed by large enterprises, can still make a difference in this world, no matter how small. This is very essay kind of closing. When you're concluding a journalistic piece, for example, a feature, mas maganda kung way forward. Like, ano pa ba yung in-expect natin developments from this juice bar? Or at least from the setup program? Kung, or pwede rin naman in summary, ilan na ba yung natulungan ng setup program in Butuan? Or ilan na ba yung natulungan ng setup program that is similar to Jucha? Or how much did, what percentage of Jucha's business grew because of setup? Something like that. So, something that is either go way forward or conclusive, that it ties everything up. So, ganun usually yung conclusion. Yes, yes, the last sentence kind of tries to sum it up, but in a sense, it's hollow kasi it's just, stating the obvious that, yeah, it grew. Something like that. You can summarize the sentence, yeah, it grew. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Next.
Okay. Ang comment ko dito, my problem is medyo abstract siya. No? Katulad na, yung bungad pa lang, LiDAR, information for protection. On the surface, it looks powerful. Kasi, well, information for protection. These are very strong words. Pero, what kind of information? What kind of protection? If I don't know what LiDAR is, hindi ko alam kung anong klaseng information ba to. What kind of data is this? Is this spatial data? Is this temporal data? What is it? And then for protection of what? Of lives, property, para sa sarili ko, para sa ibang tao, para sa bansa, saan, di ba? So this entire headline is medyo malabo siya for me. Especially if you don't know what LiDAR is. But even if you do know what LiDAR is, vague pa rin siya. So it needs to be fleshed out more. And protection against something. It would need to be fleshed out. Tapos, this helps, no, yung opening paragraph. Due to the broadening flood problem, LiDAR in the Philippines, surface elevation, etc., etc. So this explains what LiDAR is and offers a clue to the headline, ano? Okay sana siya. Pero, again, going back to the concept of linear communication, if I am seeing this in my feed and then I just read the headline, because like I said earlier in my talk, the headline is what make them decide whether or not to continue reading. So kung vague pa lang yung headline mo, at dun pa lang sa second paragraph naka-explain kung ano ibig sabihin nun, makatama rin na agad yung mga tao. A large part of the audience will not bother to read beyond the headline. Okay, so there's that. Kagaya nung point ko dun sa unang piece, like looking at it in terms of layout, sayang hindi siya natapos, ano? Pero at least from a layout perspective, mukhang maganda naman yung pagkakabalangkas niya, no? Maganda nga yung sinabi ni Shai kanina about reading the paragraphs. Yung pag sobrang haba, parang parang nawawalan ka ng hininga, parang hinahabol mo yung hininga mo, di ba? So this is a good example of what should be done. Small, short paragraphs to allow the reader to take in the facts, to breathe between paragraphs. What else can we say about this? Ang problem din is medyo masyadong overview yung binigay ng LiDAR sa tungkol sa DREAM and sa LiDAR. Katulad niyan, certain expansion programs aim to prepare the country as well as people for natural disasters. Did it mention what these expansion programs are? They're somewhere down below. No? Pero, dito pa lang, third paragraph na tayo, pero the first two paragraphs talk about what LiDAR is. Okay, that's sort of okay. Pero ito, ang problema, hindi siya concrete, no? It doesn't paint a picture in your reader's mind. Ano ba talaga ang benefit nito? Concretely, all it says, it provides useful information for flood disasters, thoroughly detailed, accurate mapping. So what? Diba? Don't take for granted that your reader will understand what the importance of these maps are. You would have, one thing is not just to explain what the maps are, but to show exactly ano yung benefit ng LiDAR. Diba? It will make for faster evacuations, diba? Or make for better city planning, diba? Etc., etc. So you give concrete examples. The idea is to paint a picture in your reader's mind kung ano talaga yung benefits ng technology. in closing, I'd like to say yun yung problem with a lot of science stories in general. Even like the space program, di ba? Ang laging tinatanong ng mga tao, anong silbi niyan sa atin? Bakit natin kailangan ng space program? So if you're not able to explain concretely what it does, di ba? It's difficult going. People will lose interest. Or more close to home, kunwari, yung mga stories tungkol sa shit, I can't think of a good example. But what I'm saying simply is that you would need, after the who, what, where, when, how, and why, one of the important things you have to do is also say, so what? Why should your reader care about this technology or this development? And one of the best ways to go about that is to provide concrete examples of what benefits can be gleaned from that development.
Okay, so akin naman dun tayo sa basic ng writing news and feature. You start with, di ba, the 5 W's and 1 H. Yung who dito is on the 3rd paragraph. What is on the 1st and 2nd paragraph. Where is on the 3rd paragraph. So hiwa-hiwalay siya. Where it could be shortened and put in a single paragraph. And a sentence saying that LiDAR, the technology has reached CARAGA, or pwedeng LiDAR has provided flood maps that will be useful for disaster risk reduction or for preparation of the upcoming typhoon season in Butuan, something like that. So that could be as simple as that. Pero kasi pinaghiwa-hiwalay niya yung information eh. Also, kanina hindi nabanggit dun sa story ng Cervantes. This one tried to insert a quote, pero at the bottom. I'm not sure whether that would be his or her last sentence, but quotations in journalism are a good way to put insights into the story that are otherwise not found on press releases or other research papers. Insights and opinions that would add depth to the story. So, the good thing about science, it's always relevant. Pero, our job as writers, communicators, is how to communicate that relevance to the public. And while we're communicating the relevance, how will we make them want to read about that relevance? In this case, parang isipin nyo, pag nanonood kayo ng movie, sa umpisa, di ba, parang they start in the middle of something. An opening scene is actually like a pickup from an ongoing narrative already. So you also treat your writing piece as that. You're in the middle of everything. Ano yung una mong sasabihin sa best friend mo or sa nanay mo? So, when you're able to answer that, you could start with that. Would you tell your mom that LiDAR takes place in the Philippines to measure the surface elevation as well as production of 3D images? Of course not. Would you tell your best friend about that? On the first instance, unless your best friend is DJ Di Makali. So, you're probably going to start with, uy, alam mo ba, alam mo ba, meron na palang mga bagong mas high resolution maps ng Butuan. So, mas alam na natin ngayon kung saan mas babaha ng matindi kapag umulan. Tapos, so tatanungin ngayon nung best friend mo, paano nila nagawa yun? So, then you can explain about LiDAR. So, something like that. Pero, or if you're going to focus on the technology, you would say that the light detection ranging technology is actually just, you know, if you think about it, it's amazing kasi they use light to be able to map things. But how do they do that? Diba? So, you can explain the science behind that. That's a totally different angle altogether. So, ganon. Tapos, I think the goal here is to let the public know that the information that the LiDAR gives will protect them from disasters. Pero hindi siya masyadong na-communicate kasi yes, no sa last sentence, it's the art of technology to save lives. So it's very motherhood statement eh. You know what motherhood statement is? The kind of statement that politicians make when they're being pushed to the wall because of a certain issue. So we don't want motherhood statements, we want insightful statements. So one way to, how to know whether the statement is insightful, if it adds depth to the facts that we know. We know that LiDAR does this, we know that LiDAR does that, so what? So probably what Engineer Santillan, probably Engineer Santillan could have said something about how many barangays have already benefited from it when they've tried to give the information. Or how many, kasi to save lives, how many lives have been saved? What's the difference between the disaster preparedness of Butuan prior to LiDAR and with LiDAR? In terms of like, this typhoon and then the next typhoon. So that's more concrete, and that's, I mean, people can easily visualize those things. Pwede rin sabihin na how many, for example, rice plantations were saved. How many acres, not really acres, but hectares of land were saved because of those things. So, ganon. But, you know the length, 260 words. So, 250 plus words is good enough for online. And also good enough for print. So, the length is okay, it's just that we need to restructure some things within the article. Okay, may next pa.
Kasama pa itong setup. Kasama pa ito isa.
Okay, so let's start with the headline. DOST supports MSMEs through tech upgrade. First thing I read is DOST. Who would be interested in this? Would the general audience be interested? I'm not sure. Maybe people who are interested in science developments in the country. Yes, definitely. DOST supports MSMEs. That's presuming your audience already knows what MSMEs are. If not, you lose your audience there again. Kasi, okay, DOST supports, and then you don't know what MSME is. There is a small percentage of your audience that might be curious and then read through the article, ano kaya itong MSME is? But a large portion of that audience would also not care and won't think it's worth their time. And you lose them from the headline pala. Through tech upgrade, very nebulous. Ano yung tech upgrade na yun? I know that it's a headline, and of course you can't say specifically what these tech upgrades are in the headline, pero it's too vague, too vague. And the problem with that kind of vagueness is nawawala yung so what. Why should your audience care about this upgrade? Because they don't know what it is. And the answer you could probably, what I would recommend is yung tech upgrade, define mo. Choose one. There were several benefits that came from the upgrade or DOST's intervention. It says so right here: industrial juicers, vertical blenders, etc. Panini grills, whatever that is. It would help to choose one of these and put it there. Again, it depends on your target audience. If they're an audience that's interested in DOST and medium and small enterprises, qualify mo kung ano yung tech upgrade na yun. In this case, industrial equipment, for instance. You could say that. You could have substituted tech upgrade with industrial equipment. Kasi a tech upgrade, the concept is, it's very vague. Again, light switch. Is that, are we talking about lighting fixtures? Are we talking about a stall somewhere? Or are we talking about, well, it can be anything, but if you said this enterprise is received industrial equipment, then it gives a clear idea of what happened, and maybe you would interest your readers there. Layout-wise, okay na. Ito, I keep saying this, it's good that you have short paragraphs para nakakahinga yung tao pag binabasa yung article. Ano pa ba? This third paragraph, medyo, if this were a press release, it might work. Pero what bugs me about this one, in DOST's government's response for more focused programs, ganyan. It's not critical, I mean, number one, it just takes it for granted na ito yung ginagawa ng government. Okay, but are you not going to question kung ito talaga yun and quantify it also? Otherwise, it's just a bland motherhood statement. Yeah, this one is also medyo broad din, so ang problem is you start out it supports enterprises with these tech upgrades. You talk about the juice bar here in the second paragraph, and then you suddenly jump to macro view, diba? This is itong two paragraphs na to, yung DOST setup, etc., and the assistance is open to established companies, ganyan. Masyado na siyang malawak. So, again, going back to the idea of a linear narrative, so you already introduced the idea of Miss Cervantes in the second paragraph, and then nilaglag mo na siya dun sa third and fourth paragraphs. There is no more mention of her story. Macro view na nung setup program. So, syempre, kung yung reader mo, if they're interested in Mrs. Cervantes' story, asan na? Asan na yung, where is her story? Dito na lang, it picks up na lang dun sa fifth paragraph na lang na may quote from her. But even then, it's bland and it's just a motherhood statement. No? I've benefited from setup program itself also through MPEX. I don't think this was first mentioned to MPEX. I don't think it's mentioned up there too. So, ano to, di ba? So hindi nakakasakay yung reader dun sa kwento ni Cervantes. Dito sa story to, what you could do, at least in my mind, there are two ways this could be fixed. Number one is, you start macro. Na yun, DOST, talk about DOST's tech upgrades for enterprises as a whole. You talk about it up front na, oh, the DOST has been doing so and so for small businesses and medium businesses, etc., etc. And then you give Miss Cervantes' story down at the end as an example of this help from DOST. Or, the other way around, which frankly of the two options I would prefer more, is you start from the close-up picture and then go macro. You start out with Cervantes' story na nakakuha siya ng tulong para dun sa juice bar, tapos natuwa siya, ganito yung sinabi, it helped me with my business idea, I have more background in engineering, etc., etc. And once you've established how happy she is about this development, and then you start talking about the program as a whole. So it still ties into the concept of linear narrative na, as I said earlier, you story proceeds step by step. Hindi ka pwedeng lumaktaw bigla na, in this case yun, you're talking, first paragraph mo, macro, then micro, you're talking about Mr. Cervantes, tapos macro ulit, tapos micro, di ba? You start small, then go big, or you start big and then zoom into the small. Yeah.
Actually, all the time that I was reading this, I was thinking of something really extreme, like, parang sabi ko, yung DOST parang genie. Your wish is my command. Kasi nag-wish sila ng tech upgrade and then granted. So, and instantly meron ka ng juicer, blender, grill, etc. So think of like Willie Revillame giving Pakabayan showcase sa isang winner. Something like that. I mean, pwedeng maglaro. You can play with your imagination and how you want to present these things. Kasi many stories are, almost all kinds of stories have been told before in many ways, in many creative ways. Probably the best stories have been written already. And probably your style won't be any different from any other writer's style. So what will make it interesting? What will still make it interesting? We know for a fact that government is doing this, that government is helping small entrepreneurs. So, what would make this interesting? The presentation. Kumbaga, they're all chocolate cake, but which chocolate cake would you buy? Would you buy something that has buttercream icing, or something has fondant? Something that is shaped like a dog? Diba? Something like that. So, you'd also treat your stories that way. So, we know for a fact that this happened. Mrs. Cervantes received benefits from DOST. Pero the word benefits, the word grants, the word provision, the word provided are very abstract. When you think about those words, anong nasa isip mo? Hands? Diba? Basket? Gift? So, you have to play with your imagination to picture things out in such a way that when you're going to read the story yourself, you would also be interested in reading it. Sometimes I scrap my entire story because I don't want to read it again. Kasi parang, this is not, it should be written. One editor's opinion could be different from another editor's opinion, but the readers generally have the same behavior. They like stories that they can relate to. So, can they relate on the MSME through tech upgrades? They like stories that could be funny. Humor is always welcome. So, what could be a humorous take on this? Could DOST play a genie? So, what other, I mean, when you write, you don't write for yourself, you write for an audience. And the audience is the most important thing. So, if your audience won't read your work, then better not write na lang. Something like that. So, sa akin meron akong initials, M-A-M-L. So, M is message, know what you want to tell. A is audience, what do they want and what do they need to know. And then, another M is your medium. Are you going to write it for a magazine? Are you going to write it for a newspaper? What's like, ang circulation ba nito is within Butuan? Ang circulation ba nito is within Mindanao? And then L is language. What kind of language? Yes, it is English, or yes, it is in Bisaya, or yes, it is in Tagalog. Pero what kind of Tagalog? What kind of Bisaya? Is it colloquial? Will it fit your readers? Or are you going to speak in Becky speak? Diba? To reach more readers? Or are you going to speak like in combination of English and Bisaya? Something like that. You can explore those things when you're writing. Pero, I mean, yes, you have to stay on brief that you have to write about this topic. Pero the approach could be different from one person's perspective to another. And, I mean, sometimes you think that the story you're given is boring. Pero how do you make it interesting? For example, you're given a glass of water and said, how do you make the audience think that the water is really tasty? Something like that. So, you have to play with your imagination. So, yun lang, DJ, you want to add something else? Okay. Thank you very much. So, I think we're done for this critique. Hope you learned something.
Thank you, Ms. Shaira and Sir DJ. I hope you were able to capture all of the inputs that our friends have given for our output. So, may improve na yun ninyo yung writing style siguro. Hopefully. We have come to the conclusion of day 1 of our training. Thank you everyone for coming. See you tomorrow. Please be on time. 8 ang call time tomorrow because we'll start at 9. Thank you. If you have cameras, please bring it with you because we're going to have photojournalism tomorrow.